In this video, I want to have a look at adding and subtracting decimals, and this is without a calculator. So when we're adding or subtracting decimals, there's two things we want to do to set up the question. So the first is that we're going to line up all our decimal numbers underneath each other so that their decimal points line up. And then if we've got any gaps in there, we're going to fill them all in with zeros. And then we can either start adding or subtracting. So let's have a look at an example. So for our first example, it's an addition, and it's asking us to evaluate 7 plus 0.4 plus 1.05. So I'm going to line all of these up. Now we've got our whole number here for 7, and my decimal point would be directly after it. Then I've got a 0.4, and then I've got a 1.05. So I've lined up all of my numbers so that the decimal points are straight underneath each other. Then our biggest number, or our number with the most decimal places, has 2 decimal places. So I'm going to make these two numbers above it have 2 decimal places as well. You don't have to do that, but sometimes it makes it a little bit easier to see. And then we're going to go through and start adding. So we start over on the right-hand side. So we'd have 0 plus 0 plus 5 would give us a 5. A 0 plus 4 plus 0 would give us a 4. Our decimal point goes directly underneath where they were in the question. And then we've got 7 plus 0 plus 1. So our answer would be 8.45. Our second example is a subtraction. So we've got 12.58 minus 2.163. So again, we're going to start off by writing down our numbers and lining up those decimal points. So 12.58, and then we're going to subtract that 2.163. Probably move my subtraction over a little bit. All right, so again, I'm going to fill in this gap here with a 0. I can fill this one in as well if I want to, it doesn't really matter. And then we're going to start from the right. Now, our first step would be 0 minus 3, but we don't want to end up with negative numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a 10 from here. We're going to take our 8 and change it to a 7 and carry a 1 over here. So now we've got a 10 on this column instead. So now we've got a 10 minus 3, which would give us 7. We've got a 7 minus 6 would give us 1. 5 minus 1 gives us 4. And then we carry our decimal down here. 2 minus 2 is 0. And 1 minus 0 is 1. So we end up with 10.417 as our solution. So that's having a look at adding and subtracting decimals.